Alrighty, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the video, and in this video we're going to be covering all of the building mechanics, tips, and kind of like strategies to improve at building. So hopefully this is going to be some type of like ultimate guide for, beginner, intermediate, advanced, or even expert players to come back to and watch over again or whatever. So basically with building, the core kind of philosophy of it is that you have to have some time to practice, and you have to actually want to practice. So you can watch this video 100 times, but if you don't actually go into creative and practice these techniques, they won't be implemented at all into your gameplay. And you'll be like, well, fuck, I watched this useless ass video and it's not working. It's not just going to be like into your mind. You're going to actually have to go into creative and practice this stuff to learn it. Okay, I can't tell you how many hours I spent cranking up in creative with 90s just to get Harry Potter underneath, which is this when you're underneath the stairs like this. But anyway, the first section is going to be beginner building techniques. So even though the word beginner is in here, there are some techniques in here that are very important, and they end up being the foundation, literally the foundation, to build upon later. So the first one is going to be 90s. Now, if you are played any bit of Fortnite, you should know what a 90 is. It's basically the fastest way to get up. It's the fastest way to get vertical distance, and it's very, very, very core and very beginner. So to know how to do 90s, there are multiple techniques, and you just want to pick one that's comfortable because the difference between them are like milliseconds. So unless you're, face way and you're playing Zone Wars, the actual difference between the 90s don't really matter. You just want to make sure that when you're in game, you don't make mistakes when 90ing. So the first one is just a simple 90, just like this. And the idea is that you would jump, place all the stuff, place your floor and your stair, and then jump again. Now, you don't want to do it just there because it's easier to mess up and get Harry Pottered like this. So you do want to make sure you add the floor underneath. And you just want to go up like this. So a quick way would be something like this. And then another way is, I just called it the right swipe. I'm on a really high sense over here, so I can do this pretty easy. All I do is swipe right. So let me get my stair out. And all I do is this. So I do my 90s and I just slowly move my mouse to the right. That might be harder if you play on negative sense or whatever the low sensors play on. And then another one is the Metro 90s, where you just go like this. So you're not actually jumping forward, you're kind of more jumping up and catching yourself. So these are called Metro 90s because Metro was the one that I think made them up. And then we have the Infinity 90s, where you don't jump at all and you just run like this. And then finally we have the one jump 290s. Where you just jump once and you try to catch yourself there. These ones are probably the hardest to kind of get used to because you're waiting a half a second, catch yourself, and then you're going. So that's basically the very, very beginning building techniques. They aren't really that important. I mean, just pick one and then master it, and then you'll be good. So next we'll be talking about boxing up, and this one is like heavily overlooked. It's actually insane. Like, I don't see any videos on this at all. What do I mean by boxing up? There's really two variations of boxing up. We have the normal 1x1, which is just something like this. Usually you want to place a cone in here, or you can also place a stair, but the cone is more neutral because you have more options to do whatever you want, and a stair is more defensive. So if you have a stair in here, it is harder to flip the pieces around. This is like more weirder edits and stuff like that. So placing a cone is pretty neutral. Now, the issue with boxing up is that most people start with the wall right in front of them. So they place this wall and they loop around like this. Now, the downside is that if I start with this wall here, what's the wall I place last? The one right behind me. And if my opponent is chasing me and he's trying to shoot me, what wall is he going to see first? It's the wall right behind. So what might end up happening is I take all of these, I turn around, I place my cone, and he's popped this open, and now he's in my face. He's going to pump me and kill me because he took this back wall. So there's a few things you can do. First thing is that you do your box like this. You try to place the back wall. You come back and you do another box like here. So now we have a 2x1. I think it's 2x1. So even if he does take this back wall here, we have 2 layers here in between us. So if he does take it, I can go, okay, shoot back. I can do something like this. And I have options. Like, he has to get through 2 more layers. So if I want to, I can even run back, do something like this, shoot him, whatever. It doesn't matter. So I do a lot of options with the 2x1 here, and it's pretty easy to do. All you would do is do the normal box up technique, swim back, and place a stair. You look here, place a stair behind you, edit through, and go again. And then you would be here, and you do whatever. Now, another thing you can do is try to find a way to box up where you start at the back wall. So if I'm going to box up in this box, I might swing back. So a good thing to do is that you don't need to look all the way back here to place this wall. You can actually look in this corner or the opposite corner over here. So you could come in and look here and just do like a circle like this. Not a circle, like a straight line. So we want to look here and then look up, grab all the pieces, and be good to go. This way, I start here already, so I can either go the other way around, go up, and my back wall won't be yoinked right away. Now, it's going to be difficult if you box up like this, like something like that, then, you know, your back wall will probably be yoinked if it's a good player, so you might have to do one more out and be underneath the ramp like that. But if not, do something like that, where you just want to start at the back wall and swing up. So even if you do something like that, try to make sure you don't play any extra pieces. But the whole point is that you end up placing that back wall first, because that's very important. Let's grab a striker here, just for now. And then the next one is ramp rushes. Now this one's probably the most overrated form of building. It doesn't actually matter that much. You won't use it in game. If you end up doing something like this, you know, you're just doing that for fucking shits and giggles. Especially ramp rushes like this one. You'll never do this in game. You might do it to claim height, but you'll only go like 2 layers up, like maybe like here in metal, and that's if you have extra metal down here too. The most common one you use is just a single ramp rush, which is this. I would highly recommend not going above like 3. So 3 would be the max. So 1, 2, 3, and this would be the highest I would go. Because any higher, like if I'm all the way up here, like I'm gonna die to fall damage basically. And then the next one would be the double ramp rush, which is just placing like this. This one's easy. You want to make sure you look down when you place like this. I place this 4. I want to look down, because if I don't, then I'm gonna cuck myself like this. So you just want to go like look down just a little bit. I'm just moving my mouse just a little bit, like it's super easy. And then this is probably the most used one. Again, I would still only go like 3 layers up at most, because this is just supposed to be the foundation part. So in combination with the 90s, let's say this is flat ground here, all I would do is go 1, 2, and then start 90s like this, then start cranking up and then doing whatever, because the whole point is that down here is just the foundation. All it is like, okay, if they have to shoot through, where is it at actually? Right here. If they have to shoot through, they have to shoot through 1 and then 2 layers and chop it all out. So usually you would start 90 in right here off of this one instead. So you go like this and then you start 90 in, rather than going like that and then 90 in, because it's faster to do 1 and then 90. So what you can do to practice this is that when you're learning how to 90, you do your triple 90 and then you go into the double ramp. So let's do 1, 2, 3, double ramp, and just keep doing like that until you get to height, and then go all the way back down and rinse and repeat. So the final technique, and this is probably the most important one, so if you are going to get anything from this beginner building section, please just take this. I would say that side jumping is definitely very beginner now. Back in the day, side jumping was nuts, but there's really only like 3 to 4 really like variations. I think there's 4 variations of side jumps that are actually useful. So the first one is the most basic one, and that's where you jump to the side like this. So you place this cone here, and you could play, we'll go to that later. You jump out and you land far. So if this is the centerpiece, you want to land far away, hold your stair, and then start double ramping. This is kind of like the double ramp side jump. So you want to jump out, double ramp, that's it. Now it's good, but it's also bad because it's predictable. If your opponent is watching you, what he can do is, oh, he's going to do that. He can go like this and full box you, and you're going to land right here trying to go up, and you're like, oh shit, I'm just gotten put in the whoop-dee montage. So the next variation is probably, this one's probably a little bit more advanced for sure. All you do in this one is that you would come out to the side, and you want to land on top of the stair like this. This one's probably really hard because the first one we're jumping out, so we can jump earlier on the ramp. We're jumping like here out to the side and then going up. This one you want to wait until you're like just about to hit your head, and then you want to jump up. You notice that we're not jumping, like if this is this, we're not jumping like here, we're jumping up and catching ourselves over here. And that's why it's pretty difficult, is that you feel like you're going to bonk your head. Every time I do it, I'm like, ah, I'm going to hit my fucking head. Every time. Now the next variation is pretty similar to this one. It's the one where you jump like this and land this way. This one I would say is a little bit more easier than this last one, because the last one, your room for error is like right here. That's it. If you jump any farther, you're going to be underneath it. But when you land on the one like this, your room for error is longer, if that makes sense. Like, it's longer this way. So you're able to jump out farther, but you just have to stay close on this side, or you're going to be underneath. Now, the next variation is just kind of like an addition to the last three, and that's got a protected side jump. And all you do is you place a wall here. This way, whatever side jump I do, my opponent, who's right here, can't take the pieces first and box me while I'm jumping out. So whether it be like this one, land there, or this one like that. And all you do is you want to look up, grab this wall. You want to look high, though. If you look low, you end up taking a wall here, fucking yourself over. So you want to look high, jump out, something like that. You can do whatever you want. The whole thing, like, side jumping like this is like the very, very core, thin, like, step to lead yourself into intermediate and advanced and expert, like, build-in retakes. So this is the beginner section of build-in, and we'll be back with the intermediate section of build-in. So please make sure you watch everything. I know that if you think you can do 500 fucking retakes and the edit course, that you might be the best builder in the world. But who knows, there might be some tips and tricks throughout there that you can actually end up watching and be like, holy shit, I never knew that. So yeah, I'll be right back. Alrighty, so we're back with the intermediate build-in. Before we start, I'm gonna get a drink of my Tim Hortons here. Fuck, I love their coffee. Alright, so basically, with intermediate build-in, I don't want to make this like a technique build-in strategy guide video with different retakes. I want to go over like kind of the core fundamentals of beginner, intermediate, and everything. So beginner is really, I don't want to overload somebody like a beginner to Fortnite. I don't want to give them, here's a fucking face way, newest retake, fucking do it, good luck. I want to kind of ease themselves into actual building. So that's why those were like kind of like the beginner concepts. It should take you a while to learn that and actually master that, unless you put in a lot of time into it, and then you're good. So with intermediate, I want to talk more about the build-in grid. And what I mean by that is, let's for a second just imagine like a matrixy universe. And if we imagine where we can place our pieces here, we can kind of picture the building grid in some sense. Sometimes when I'm building and I'm playing, or I'm 1v1 in and I'm realistics or whatever I'm doing, I'm trying to imagine based on the sounds that I'm hearing and basically their retake pattern on where they could be in the build fight. Now this is kind of getting a little bit expert, but it's kind of the point of learning the grid. Now the building grid will help you with editing, it will help you with building, it will help you with piece control, and it will definitely help your fighting. So this is just knowing where you can place and where you can't place, and how the grid kind of interacts to make Fortnite. So for example, if I want to place this wall here, and I don't want to place it far out here, I want to look down. And that's because if I go like this, and I'm trying to place it here, it'll build out here, and this guy will just go bop, 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 and I'm dead. So instead, if I know that I have to look down, whatever I'm doing, so let's say I'm here, I'm attacking this guy's wall, he edits out on me, and I know that, I want to look down right away, because I'm trying to snap and take this wall before he does. That way, I take the wall, he edits it like this, maybe I do like a window edit, I come back and I shoot. The whole idea is knowing that if I want to grab this wall here, I have to look straight down. So I want to flick back and look down like this and get there. Now, another thing is that if you're here like this on the wall, it will push you back. So that's something important to know, is that I don't need to be all the way back here to place this wall. I can wait till I just got over this line and let the wall push me back. So that's the first thing that's important to know. So that probably saved me so much, is just like going snapping down and trying to take this wall. It's even better when you're above like this and you want to take this wall here. I can take the wall as soon as I jump up and look over it, and a lot of people don't know that. So a good thing to do is, you're up here, you look at them, you go, you're looking through here and you go, wait, his side wall's open, jump up, I take this wall, do whatever, and I shoot. So please, that's probably, if you leave with anything, please leave with that, because that's a very important thing. Now, another thing is that you don't have to look directly at it. Like, a lot of people picture Fortnite too much in almost like, how do I explain this? In like the directional sense. But this is north, east, south, west. And that's how they figure it. So if they want to build a wall, they want to look at all their directions. They want to go boom, 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 boom. Like this. And then box out. And the issue with that is it's too slow. Okay? Fortnite isn't directional like that. The grid isn't. You can place these two walls if you just look diagonal instead. So if you notice, if I look right here in this corner, I can place both of these two walls and do everything super quickly. And all I'm doing is going from this corner to this corner, and I place everything. Instead of going all the way around like a 360, I'm just going a 180, and I'm able to place all the walls. Now this is important in the sense of actual piece control. So for example, let's just place, I have to place a cone down here. Let's say that my opponent is over here, he's under here, and I want to box him. The worst thing you can do is you start over here and you look all the way over to get the wall. This is too long. Instead, what you can do is, let me place the cone, is that you look in this corner here and you're able to shake your mouse or your analog stick or whatever, and you just grab the walls and you do it quickly. So it's just like grab, reset, shoot, whatever you want to do to finish it off. And this goes the same way when boxing through a window. Is that, sure, I could look down and then look up to grab these cones, but I don't need to. I can actually just shake my mouse and imagine like a horizontal line right here. So let's actually measure the line up right there. So imagine this half wall line. All I do is shake my crosshair like this, and I'm able to grab both of these pieces. So when I'm actually going for piece control, all I do is a little shake like this, and now I have both of the pieces like that. So now, okay, now I want to add the walls in. So I want to shake. All I want to do is imagine like a, what would it be, like an N, like a lowercase n. So all I'm doing is going middle here to here to the corner, back to the other corner. Now you could start at 1 and lead back, but I think it's more important to grab the direct, like, across wall rather instead. It really depends on where your opponent is in the box. If he's on the far right, then it's better to shake and grab these ones and the right hand peek, and don't really worry about this one, because if you see him running out, then you can pre-box, kill him or whatever. But whatever side he's on, do the shake and grab the walls. And if you notice how quick I'm doing that, and it's easy because I know the grid, and I know that if I go boom boom, it leads me into the next one, and I can take my shotgun out like right here. So it's going boom boom, shotgun out, and I can shoot. Rather than super slow would be, again, final one here would be like, and that's the issue, is that I'm leaving myself exposed in the window for too long when I'm actually going for pieces like this. So mess around in creative, like actually mess around with piece controlling and everything, and learn the building grid. So like another example of the grid is, let's get this going here, is I know that I can place a cone back here. So a lot of people don't know that. You can actually place stuff through here. Another one, if I edit this, I can place walls like this. But if I go out to the side, I gotta connect myself, do something like this. Here's an important one. Something off to the side. You gotta learn where you can and cannot place builds. And then you can start incorporating that into your retakes, into your whatever. But like if I'm going for, it's so easy. Piece control is so easy to do. And just about learning the building grid and what you can and can't place. That's it. It's super, 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 super easy. And all it is the best way to learn the building grid is actually just to play PG 1v1s, okay? And just try to gain height, fight them, get height. If you can't, then you go into Raiders piece control map and you just actually try to piece up the bot with as minimal movement as possible. So again, instead of doing something like this where I'm trying to go crazy, I'm just going to do something similar and just do one little shake with the mouse. I'm just almost making like a plus sign, you could say, when I'm boxing up. So I'm doing the upper, and then I'm doing the sides here with the walls, and then I'm going boop, boop, like that, and that's it. It's done. Then down here, I'm piecing up. So I need to place something down here first, because right now this cone can't connect to anything. So I have to place it like that, but let's just assume that I'm placing it here. So let's say I go like this. I place the cone in the box. Instead of going from this corner to this corner, I'm just gonna go like this. Super, super simple. Okay, I'm on this guy's wall. I notice that he's, let's say I phase this cone into the box, and he's under the cone, so he's right here. Where is his only option? Pickaxe the cone, which he won't do. He's gonna go down. I'm gonna look down, grab the wall, and piece him up. And that's it. Like, it's literally all just building grid, knowing what pieces can go where and what pieces can't, and then because of that, I'm able to kind of put them all together to make a build a retake, a piece control, whatever it is. So this was intermediate. I mean, the whole thing can be summed up pretty quickly with just, you know, learning the grid. It's hard to learn it without like actually practicing or playing. So you might have these concepts, but now you have to actually apply them into your practice, which is difficult. So yeah, I'll be back with the advanced building techniques. And again, these probably won't actually be techniques. It'll more of just be tips and stuff and what really makes someone an advanced builder versus not an advanced builder. But yeah, cheers. So now we're in the advanced building sections. We've learned the basic fundamental techniques and we've learned what the building grid is. Now, how do we actually get to advance and become like an advanced builder to eventually maybe get to an expert builder. So advanced building is really just putting together all of the other building techniques kind of into one smooth like river, you could say. And you're just kind of letting all the building techniques flow off of each other until you're able to gain height or fool your opponent or whatever. So the first thing that requires from that is learning the different techniques. Now there's thousands or maybe even millions, probably not millions. I don't know. There's a shit ton of different building techniques that are of different calibrations and different variations and everything. So you want to find a video information of some of maybe an easier one to start off and eventually lead into the more advanced ones and then do them. For example, my old retake, and this would be literally the only retake I knew how to do, was I would just do triple edits. So I would just go like this, do a few triple edits, and then let's say here I would do a wraparound, and then I would grab this ramp, flip it, land on top of it though, silly me, grab it, flip it, and then that would lead me into the 90 like this. And that was it. That was my most advanced retake I had for a while. So it would be like, okay, now let's bring this around, grab, flip it. I fucking haven't done it in a century, Jesus Christ. Flip it, and then I would either go and do a 90 or do another flip again. So it would be like flip, flip, and then I would start 90. And that was it. That was my most advanced retake, and that's all I could do, and I didn't bother learning anything else. Now I was also pretty good at side jumping, of course, and then I miss it. Fuck. I'm not gonna do another take on this because I just want to get it up. But I would do a side jump, land it, or whatever. And side jumping is very safe. It's a safe thing to do. Because if we think, let's say I'm brick here and I'm ramping up like this, and my opponent's underneath me in the middle, if they cone me, usually they start with this back wall and then they swing around like that. So what I should be doing is as soon as I get coned, I'm side jumping off to the side like that. Immediately. I'm always taking this wall, edit out, side jumping. It's probably the best thing you can learn is at least the side jumps. So all the different variations of the side jumps, something like that, and you're good to go. Now, the retake that I just recently learned, so let's see if I can even pull it off on camera, is one where you go like this, you place this here, come off to the side, you wrap around, do it again, land that, you place that up here, you jump off to the side, flat, and then you do it like this. This is the retake I just learned. So even though I would consider myself a pretty good builder, I'm still not good enough, and I'm still trying to learn new retakes. And that's because all of these different techniques that I did here can be applied together or separately. And separately is where it actually impacts the real game. So for example, let's say my opponent is over here. This is a real game. He's on this side right over here. And I know that. I can just go like this, and then I'm safe from his left. But instead of going through and doing the retake, what if I just went off to the side and did something like this, and okay, there he is. I don't need to do all these extra edits, and just shoot him and he's dead. So all it is using the different techniques. So let's say I'm doing this one. I have height on him now, so instead of whipping into the next one, I simply just go up and start shooting down at him. So because of all these built-in retakes, you can use them separately to actually implement them into the real game. Now, if you're playing Zone Wars Wagers, then it's probably important that you know some of the more advanced retakes rather than this one, because I think this one's honestly pretty basic compared to some of the fucking other crazy ones I see on YouTube. So please, please, please learn some built-in retakes, but also learn them separately. So you want to make sure that it's not muscle memory, that they're all forced together, where you can't do them alone. You want to be able to just split them up and do them separately. Now, a more easier beginner one would be something like this. Let's show it here. I'm trying to remember it. I think you go off to the side. Fuck, I honestly can't even remember it. I had made a video about it. Oh, okay. It's the Thypho cone, up like this, over to the side, and then you're good to go. So all I'm doing is looking back, Thypho coning, coming off to the side, looping up, and then going through. So this is like very, very beginner. Mess up the side jump, of course. It's very beginner, very easy. Learn that, but just so you can actually add it into your own gameplay. So let's say I'm double ramping like this. I Thypho cone up, I go off to the side, but instead of going here, I swing back, I box my opponent here. So the thing about applying this all in, so really what makes an advanced builder is being able to take your combined retakes, break them down separately, and apply them into the game over here, separately, alone. And then, you know, more built-in techniques would be piece control, you know, edit courses, all that kind of stuff combined together, where you edit pieces that you place. Is a lot different than editing pre-placed structures. But together, in combination with everything else that you probably learned in this channel and other channels, you should be able to be almost completely good to go. The biggest like thing I can recommend is practicing. Please, for the love of fucking God, practice. Play the game. Okay, play it. Play creative. Okay, if you have 3 hours a day to play the game and you want to get better at building, I'd say 2 hours of that has to be in creative, where you're fucking tearing your eyes out, asking God why, and you're just trying to learn how to do a fucking 90. Honestly, do it. We all had to do it. Everyone had to fucking grind through their fucking horrendous hours of where you do a 90 and you Harry Potter yourself and you're sitting there like, holy fucking God, are you serious? But you just gotta get through it, and then you'll be good. Yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. You know, let's do a little like goal. I don't know, I've never done that before, but I don't know if this gets like what, 100 likes, 200 likes. I don't know, let's just do 100. If this gets 100 likes, then I'll do one on piece control. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Have a good rest of your day / night. Also, my uploading schedule will be Fridays, Saturdays, and maybe Sundays. But yeah, cheers.